it's always nice having somebody that may disagree with you publicly to be an employee rather than an independent operator.
Well, and it's like apparently this is what Lincoln did too, right? He formed a government, and JFK did it. I mean, JFK had a Republican running his Defense Department. Let us not forget.
Well, and certainly Lyndon Johnson was no great fan of JFK either.
Well, no, but JFK couldn't have won the presidency without LBJ because LBJ carried Texas.
Yep. Well, you need some votes in the South. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
You can't win just in New England.
Yeah, you can't be a New Englander and expect to win Texas. Although Texas used to be a blue state, it wasn't even a red state at all. And that's what I'd like to see the states go back to being purple. And honestly, pick the guy with the best ideas. It's just that I always think that the Democrats have better ideas than the Republicans.
Well, lately they by and large have.
Yeah. And the last 8 years certainly don't endear you to the Republican Party. How could it?
Hmm.
So.
So did you watch any of the footage over the weekend from that economic summit? While all of us are watching our 401ks vanish into thin air and whatnot.
The summit of the 20 largest
the 20
financial
the 20 fastest shrinking economies.
Yeah, okay, the 20 largest now. That'll change in a couple of years.
Exactly. But did you catch that one statement by Bush? I mean, it was absolutely flabbergasting to me, and I got a little clip of it. It's just a couple of seconds, and it was, for me, it was like one of those moments. I just want to do it.
Let's listen to this.
One of the things we did, we spent time talking about the actions that we have taken. The United States has taken some extraordinary measures. Those of you who have followed my career know that I'm a free market person. Until you're told that if you don't take decisive measures, then it's conceivable that our country could go into depression greater than the Great Depression.
I'm a free market person.
But if we don't stop this way of governing for a while,
and he's still
we're going down.
He's still saying, I'm a free market person. Right up until it becomes evident it doesn't work.
Except it doesn't work.
That you actually need, a little bit of
Nobody
control.
has yet come up with the perfect political. I think Scandinavia probably has it the closest, of the right ability to, if you do better, have that opportunity, become rich, become wealthy. If you're smarter than the next guy or richer than the next guy because you took the time to go to school to inform yourself and become smart and to have an opportunity to further yourself. But in the same token, you pay higher taxes because nobody has a horrible standard of living. Everybody in Scandinavia has this, if they want it, if they're not junkies or whatever. If you want to have shelter, food, have something to do like work or whatever in Scandinavia, you can have it, even if you're unemployed.
Exactly, and it was just.
I mean, there's a right balance, I think, of socialism and capitalism. That when principles are taken from both, because you certainly have to judge yourself on how you treat the worst among you. And the concentration of wealth right now, it's like, listen, I don't believe in distribution of wealth either. I think people should have a right to get ahead. That's what I was just saying. But I think to see the concentration of wealth so small when there is so much suffering in the world. Yeah, I'm a little bit right now, okay, does that make me politically radical? Then so be it. But I think right now a little bit of distributing that wealth probably wouldn't hurt.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like J.P. Morgan didn't bail out the United States government before.
Well, look how many of the big robber barons of the day or the railroad barons or whatnot didn't wind up becoming, the largest philanthropers. And the thing in this day and age is it's not people now who get, build their fortune while they're young and greedy, and then they get old and they go, I got too much and I should spread it around a little or help some of the less fortunate out. A corporation is never going to get that way, ever. they can't. I mean, they're beholden to maximizing shareholder wealth, and it's institutionalized greed without conscience. And
Yeah.
the notion that the free market can work without
Well,
putting some
the very
restraint on
fact
that
that
is
today,
ridiculous.
the very fact that earlier today I was watching the news, and I had it on the news, and I was doing something on the computer, but I happened to look up and watch it for a few seconds, and they were going on about how the CEO and all upper management for Goldman Sachs will not be giving themselves a bonus this year. Like last year, the CEO of Goldman Sachs got something like a $67 million bonus, for Christmas or whatever.
And he's going to forgo
And
that this year.
and
So
this year he's going to, which is awfully white of him, considering that Goldman Sachs is part of the $700 billion bailout.
and that's the only reason why they are. They're saying we are taking public money, so we're not. And
But they're still going to take their salaries.
oh yeah, and then they're
which
going.
is like more than most people make. They make in a second more than most people make a year.
But they're going to use this for political or for, almost advertising. You see how good we are. We're not even lining our pockets extra this year. I mean, we're not giving up
We're
our
not
golden.
giving ourselves that $67 million Christmas
Yeah.
present.
Oh, we're not giving up our golden parachutes if you try to fire our asses, because then
Yeah.
you're paying out big time. But
Yeah.
this year, that 20 mil salary, I guess I can survive. I don't need to upgrade the rolls this year. I'll get the new model next year.
Well, I think it goes further. I think that if the American taxpayer is buying out AIG, whatever, then the American taxpayer should own AIG, and it should be run as a company, and all the bums should get kicked out, and competent people be hired, and new people who are educated and are not like, these crooked SOBs who've been doing this forever, and bring in fresh minds that are competent and qualified and have the schooling and everything to take over these places, restructure them, make them successful again. And then when they look really successful and someone wants to buy the American people and the taxpayers and you and everybody else makes a profit, because otherwise capitalism is dead.
Yeah, and
Then that's just the bottom line.
well, and that's it. I mean, let's face it. We're basically being asked to bail out the greedy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that-
what pisses me off too about it. It's
Yeah.
not like oops. It's cuz they got so greedy with trying to rip off us, the people.
And
We
they
the people.
overextended themselves now but you really can't afford to lose us. You
Yeah.
still need us.
So the very people that they were greedy with and scamming and overcharging and gouging were we the people. And now we the people are the ones bailing their asses out. How does that make sense? That doesn't make any sense to me, but I know it has to be done. For the economy's sake, it has to be done. But oh my God, does that ever
I know, but
but if you're a good person, whatever, and you walked up to your congressman and said, can you get me a penthouse? And, I lost my job and my wife and my kids, would they do that? No.
I'm having a bad month if you don't bail me out.
Can you pay my rent this month? You pay me mortgage.
Oh yeah, that'll happen.
But these corporate pigs do it, and they get it. And it's not their money. It's our money. It's our money.
because they've got us over the
not their
barrel,
money.
right? Because they say, if we all go under, then none of you get a mortgage, because ain't none of you got the cash to lend each other to buy that house. And that's the fact. I mean, they have us over. I mean, the entire economy right now is credit driven. And if credit, I mean, it's not like in our parents' days, if you didn't have the money for something, you didn't buy it.
You didn't
people
buy it.
didn't have a fistful of credit cards. You paid as you went, and if you were smart, you put a little cash aside every month. Nowadays, everybody's juggling their debt portfolio with their income and hoping to,
Make enough to put in a retirement plan or something.
and every month try to figure out, I could pay a little bit more on this credit card. And I got this. No, that was got a slightly lower rate. And if I switch it all over to this, and maybe I got this because I need more stuff. And if I don't have all this stuff that I can't really afford, but they're going to give it to me on credit because I can't afford this $30,000 worth of stuff, but I think I can afford the $600 a month to get it all now. And, if you take all that money out, new debt out of the market, and people are still having to